Good afternoon. Dave Thomas, the founder of Wendy's, the world's third largest quick service hamburger company, once said that there are three simple things needed to build a successful business, and those are knowledge of your product better than anyone else, knowledge of your customer, and the burning desire to succeed. A very warm welcome to our keynote speaker, Mr. Yogesh Kakre, the esteemed panelists, Christ faculty members, fellow Christites, and the audience who has joined us from far and wide. My name is Aparna Banerjee, and it is my privilege to be the moderator for this session. Daksh is an annual education and career fair organized by the Student Council of Christ deemed to be University. Career dialogues are a distinctive feature of Daksh, wherein eminent and established figures from diverse fields are invited to share their invaluable expertise with students wishing to pursue a career in these fields. We now also have Dr. Anita Sushilan, Head, School of Architecture, Christ deemed to be University, with us. I now invite Dr. Anita to deliver the welcome address.
Anita ma'am, can you hear us?
I believe ma'am is having a little bit of a network issue. In that case, I invite Professor Jyoti Gupta to address the audience.
Sure. So welcome one and all. It's my privilege to be part of this sessions on smart cities, and we have an extreme speaker with us, Mr. Yogesh, as we talk from School of Architecture, Christ University, which is just started, and then we have started a master's program indeed on urban designing and planning. So definitely cities planning and adding a view of smart technologies would definitely add value to us. So I would request our keynote speaker to please start and provide us enough information of how should we go ahead with our technology and smart cities.
Thank you, ma'am. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce our speaker for the session, Mr. Yogesh Kakre, who will speak on the topic, Startup Ecosystems and the Future of Smart Cities. Mr. Yogesh Kakre is a fellow member of the Institute of Company Secretaries in India and served as the chairman of the Bhopal chapter of ICSI. Mr. Kakre holds an MBA in finance and also has an LLB degree from Mumbai University. Sir has worked in several reputed organizations like Kotak Security.
Good afternoon, Ishita. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Dr. Anita, would you like to address the audience?
Yes.
Ishita, are you able to hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You're audible now. You're audible.
I think you're muted.
Ma'am, we can hear you. Go ahead, ma'am. Dr. Anita?
I'm not able to hear you.
Okay. Okay. We all can hear you. So
I think ma'am will rejoin us in a little bit.
okay, sure. So we will start with Mr. Yogesh.
Yes, ma'am. We can start with Mr. Yogesh. So, sir, we are indeed very excited to hear from you. But before that, a couple of instructions. I would like to point out for the benefit of the audience that any questions that you may have for the speaker can be posted in the comments section of the YouTube live stream. We will also be posting a feedback form towards the end of the session, which will also be used to track the attendance. Hence, we request all of you to please fill it in. Dr. Anita, are we audible to you now?
Jyoti, can I check the mic?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not able to hear you.
Okay, no problem, ma'am. You can start. We can hear you. Okay.
Ma'am, maybe what we can do is probably Anita ma'am, you can give a concluding note to the speech. Is that okay? We can probably go ahead with the talk.
Yeah. Now I can hear. Yeah. Fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. We'll take a concluding note from you in that case, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you.
Without further ado, let's begin the session with Mr. Yogesh. So, sir, to start off, could you please tell us a little bit about what are smart cities and what the government of India and what the development authorities are doing for smart city development in our country?
Hello, everyone. Thanks, Aparna. Thanks to the Management Christ University, Jyoti and Ishita for inviting me here. And I'm really happy to be part of you guys for sharing my thoughts. So before going ahead, just wanted to connect with you guys. Can you anybody tell me how many smart cities are there in Bangalore, in Karnataka? Anyone chat box so that I can feel connected? Somebody saying 5, somebody saying 8, and question mark. Yeah, I'm getting guesses, wild guesses, but you should be like much clear. It's equal to what we have in Madhya Pradesh. It's 7, right? It's 7. So you should be like it's down the line 5 years. When we started Smart City Mission in 2016, in first phase, Bhopal got selected as a smart city. So likewise, Bangalore is one of them. So other cities, can you name other cities based out of Karnataka?
Davangere.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, Hubli and Dharwad.
Hubli and Dharwad,
Yeah.
perfect.
And I think Siddhant has mentioned Mysore. So
Yeah, right. So this is up to you that you can find out other smart cities. But every smart city, the concept and ways towards becoming a smart city are as diverse as cities themselves. Some approaches are like technology oriented, while others have put the social aspect in the core. Smart ideas to be implemented require active public participation, which is must. So skill must be acquired to handle the new tools with care, especially with regard to the data management and data securities. Ultimately, synergies must be developed across the system so that objective and solutions can be found for smart cities to become forward-looking, use resources with caution, and provide an environment worth living in for everyone. So the basic objective is simple living and make it simple for all the citizens. This is the objective of smart city. So Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs launched the Urban Learning Internship Program in 2020, right? Which gives an opportunity to all the students like Jyoti was telling, Aparna was telling me that you have started the course of urban designing, urban planners. So this course, I'm telling you about the course in which you can have a hand-holding experience, hands-on experience, working with the smart city officers, working with the smart city management on the different and variety of product and projects. So the urban learning program is defined as TULIP, which has been envisioned to equip the youth with problem solving and critical thinking skills through hands-on experiential learning in India's fast-growing urban ecosystem. Experiential learning opportunities in the urban sector will help them to transform into a future leaders. And the program structure is like that. The TULIP program is being implemented through a partnership between Ministry of Housing Affairs, MAHUA, and AICT. So at the state level, TULIP will be supported by the urban development departments in providing a clear roadmap for the smart cities to adopt TULIP in their respective organizations. TULIP has been designed keeping in mind the individual needs of the participants. The program intended to deliver smart cities, skilled, high quality workforce, and innovative citizen centric solutions that help them to address critical challenges. And for participating graduates, young graduates like you, it is like for enhancing the employability through learning by doing, an opportunity to co-create innovations for cities. TULIP interns would be getting exposure in large number of areas, including but not limited to urban planning, urban design, different branches of engineering, information and technology, mobility, finance, social sector, and environmental issues. So there is huge and plethora of exposure available for you if you join training program in the TULIP program by uh, the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. So the first thing first, you go and visit the site, the TULIP, right? Second thing, if you want to become an entrepreneur, so according to Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, the government of India had recently launched CIX, City Innovation Exchange Program. The main agenda of this mission is to turn the challenges into opportunities, accelerate discoveries and co-creation of innovative solutions for urban India. So as per the vision of our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi of Atmanirbhar Bharat, making cities self-reliant and provide high-tech facilities to the citizens. Based on this philosophy that everyone is an innovator, this is the platform where all the citizen organizations, academicians, and business owners to jointly work on the plan of urban India transparently and sustainability. So the main key points of this CIX program is Startup India, access in rural India, access centers for youth connections to industrial experts, looking for the best innovation coming from rural India again, most dominant areas to be focused on is water supply management, energy, agro industries, roadways connectivity, high speed internet, and proper medical facilities. So the Smart Cities Idea Exchange offers new innovative solutions, ideas, initiatives that come up in the smart city ecosystem. So if you have a great idea that you would like to share with Smart Cities fraternity, you can log in the fill up form under share your idea. So you just go and search Smart City Idea Exchange, IDEX, and then you can log in to fill up form under the share your idea. Our Smart City Ideas Exchange review committee will review it. If found appropriate, it will be published for other users to see. You can also see other ideas under check out ideas. One is share your idea and another option is check out ideas and provide feedback on them. So this is like an engagement program with by the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs to get the people and get the citizens engaged with the smart city initiatives. Because what we are doing it for citizens, and with the feedback of citizens, we are directly aligning our activities, whatever infrastructure we are coming up with in future. This is in alignment with your feedbacks only. So the public money is deployed for your betterment. So it's your responsibility as a youth of the country that you should share your ideas. If they are innovative, that can be adopted directly by the smart cities. This is the first of its kind challenge where idea exchange, where we are adopting the direct solution from the citizens. So all the public service administrators are advised to follow the latest governance policy for public services improvement. So we are abided by that. So this is two very popular programs by Ministry of Housing and Affairs, in which you can become a trainee under the TULIP program, and owning your skills, you can be employed in the any smart city on higher pay packages. And another is to share your idea in City Innovation Action, so that if the idea is very innovative, scalable, adoptable, so the opportunity will be given to this to create your own startup and sell your idea to the government.
Thank you so much, sir, for that brief on what smart cities are. So, sir, as the serving company secretary of Bhopal Smart City Development Corporation, can you tell us some of the most common challenges that you see in the process of development of smart cities?
So in Bhopal, what is happening that Bhopal is the only city where we have chosen a redevelopment model. There are three kinds of model. One is greenfield, another is retrofitting, and third is redevelopment. In greenfield, you have been allotted a green land, which is outskirt of the city, where you can develop a smart city, smart infrastructure in 340, 370, 50 acres of land, outskirts of the city, right? Another, what I have mentioned, the example of green cities like Naya Raipur, Ranchi, they are building a green city model. The second is retrofitting model, in which you have to maintain or sustain with the existing infrastructure, and again you have to build a new infrastructure. Like Indore is the model which is taken up the retrofitting model. Now, Bhopal, what we have done, we have chosen redevelopment model, which we are the only city in India have chosen the redevelopment model, where we have to demolish all the development which has been done in the last 40 years in the city. And then we have to come up with a new infrastructure in a particular specified area-based development, what we can say, ABD. So we have been allotted 350 acres of land in the heart of the city, where already mostly the government houses were there, like G+1, G+2 infrastructure was created. So the challenge was to demolish the already existing buildings, already existing like house. People are living over there, and we have to our officers and our resources. We have to do a ground clearance by enforcement with the help of police, with the help of municipality commissioner. So this is the major challenge, because you are clearing the ground and then you are coming up with a new solution. So out of the span of 5 years for smart city SPV, for 3 to 4 years we have taken it to clear the ground. Now recently we have started with building a smart infrastructure on that clear ground. So this is the major challenge which has like almost taken 80% of our time allotted for the smart city.
Right, sir. So speaking of challenges, you also mentioned that it's the feedback and the creativity of the youth that will help overcome these challenges. So a major trend that we see in the market, which is being led by the youth, is startups, the startup culture and the startup ecosystem. So you are also the COO of B Nest, which is an incubation center you helped build from scratch. So,
Right.
sir, according to you, what role do these new upcoming startups play in the development of smart cities?
Sure. So before moving ahead, let me tell you one thing, that there is only a thin margin between the dreamers and the doers. So at present, if you took just a small step towards starting your own startup, maybe you had faith in yourself and become a doer. So always be on second side, become a doer. And before moving ahead, lot many of you know what is startup, but I would like to clear, and if anybody can explain me in like 3 words, what is a startup? Just bring it on. I will give you 10, 15 seconds. Just write in a chat box, what is startup in 3 words, 3 words, 3 keywords. Innovation. I got one word. New brains, shell company, small company, entrepreneurship, less money, innovation. So I got one word, innovation. Another 2 words are missing. 2 keywords. These all are words we find in the startup ecosystem. But 3 keywords are innovation, technology, and impact. Right? So if these 3 words are there, then any new idea will be termed as like startup. So what is a startup? Is a newly established business. The business either develops a new product or services, or redevelops a current product or service into something better. What differentiates is from other new business is that the startup offers a new product or service that is not being given elsewhere in the same way. So the keyword is innovation, the technology, the employability or scalability, right? Like I would like to quote an example of grocery shops, right? You find a grocery shop. If you want to start a grocery shop, whether it is innovative or something new, no, it is already existing, right? But you have find a small like application aggregator model on which all the kirana shops or grocery shops are like integrated on the small app. And if you would like to buy from a nearest kirana shop or grocery shop, and you will get an option to take away or deliver on your doorstep. So what you have done, you have created a aggregator platform on which more than 100 of kirana shops are impaneled, and customers like you and me they can find a shop nearby and they can order their products. So what is innovative? That it is a very asset light model. You have become a owner of 100 shops without investing into a single shop, right? So the innovation with the help of technology, and it is scalable. It is giving impact through employment generation also. How scalable? Because with this application, you can sell the product across nation. You can have your grocery shop across nation. So this, I hope you understand the difference between a traditional business and a startup, right? Now, who can register as a startup? Like, what you have to see, the annual turnover of the business should not be more than 100 crore, which is on higher side. You will take a lot of time to like reach that turnover of 100 crore to get out of this startup mark. So the second thing is to be in existence not more than 10 years. So if your company is in existence from more than 10 years from the date of incorporation, then it will not term as a startup. And any such entity should be working towards innovation, development, and improvement of products and services. So if I talk about the startup, it depends upon 5 major pillars that are to be focused upon. And as an entrepreneur, you should be very clear with all the terminologies, starting with like age of your company. I have mentioned that it should not exceed 10 years from the date of incorporation, right? Then you should know your company type. Since it's a startup, you should be like incorporate a private limited company, or a registered partnership firm, or a limited liability partnership. So if you have an idea in which you find that you will get some investment, right, by private equity or venture capital or as a seed capital by giving your shares to the investor. So what model is suitable to you? I'm asking a question. LLP, private limited, or a partnership firm? Please write in the chat box. Why I'm asking such questions? Because I want you people like to be interactive, like to connect with you, so that I'm sure that you are not slept up. You are listening to me. Right, right. So I got the right answer, private limited company. Why private limited and not partnership and LLP? Because in partnership firm and in LLP, there were no shares you are having. So what will you offer in lieu of the consideration or the amount of money you are getting into? So this is what you have to keep in mind in advance before starting your startup, that what kind of organization structure is suitable for your startup. Sometimes like there are two types of fund available, because in the recent time, mostly the startups are formed on the basis of investment, probability of investment getting into the company, right? Because people are like, it's becoming a buzzword that how investment ready is your company or a startup. So if you are thinking that you are getting investment in your company and you are going to form an LLP or limited liability partnership, then there is no equity shares to offer to the investors. So you have to choose the right organization structure beforehand while registering your company or a startup, right? Then comes the annual turnover, which is on the higher side. Until unless you will reach to the 100 crore revenue mark, top line mark, you will be called as a startup. So all these conditions, like 10 years down the line, like 10 years, 100 crores, whichever is earlier. So if you achieve 100 crores revenue before completing 10 years, then again you will not be called as a startup. Like a Flipkart. If Flipkart have raised funds and achieved the turnover of more than 100 crore in 8 years, so now Flipkart is not termed as a startup. Oyo is not termed as a startup. Now they have grown up, although they are the biggest startup of this country, right? So again, you have to keep in mind that it has to be an original entity. Here, originality matters a lot. Like it should not be created by splitting or reconstructing already existing business. So make sure should be a unique, qualifying and certain parameters of a startup. And you have to be innovative and scalable. I have given an example. First of all, your startup idea should be innovative, which focuses upon a primary factor like improvement and development of a product. So when it comes to scalability, the model that you are going to propose should have a strong potential of generating wealth and employability as well, right? like OYO rooms, you have seen that it has grown up having an asset light model. Right now, at the age of 26, Ritesh Agrawal is having 46,000 hotels listed in OYO. And he is the second largest, running the second largest hotel chain without owning a single hotel. Now, they have investment into real estate, but initially, reaching 5,000 mark, he has not owned a single hotel. So with the help of technology, this is the scalability, employability impact which can be created with the help of technology. Yeah.
So, sir, there's a question regarding unicorn startups. So, could you elaborate on what a unicorn startup is in context of the life cycle of a startup when they reach a unicorn stage?
So it is like nobody can start a startup and become a unicorn on the first day, right? Unicorn startup, it's a good question. I can answer it, but I think somebody from the listeners or somebody from the student will answer this question. What do you mean by unicorn? I will give you a hint that it should by like breaching a threshold of how much valuation. Unicorn startups, right? 1 billion valuation. देखिए, so there's not. I'm not needed to answer any question. It's a 1 billion valuation or 100 million valuation is unicorn startup. So you see, the figure is too much to qualify. But India is the startups of India are now heading towards the journey where you can find like thousands of unicorns in pipeline in like 2023. You will find thousands of unicorns coming out of Indian ecosystem. Right now, it is hardly on like fingertips. You will find Flipkart, oh, these are the unicorns. But now we are getting genuine investment in our startups, and you will find very soon a good number of unicorns coming up. But it's not in you are selling the technology, because I always used to say to the technology entrepreneurs that you cannot sell the technology alone. You have to sell a solution, and that solution has to be like that it will solve the problem statement of mass, not few people. So if you are focusing upon giving a solution to the mass, then there is more probability of becoming a startup in that unicorn zone.
Right, sir. So, sir, while you were talking about one of the foundational elements of starting a startup, you had mentioned that one important element is funding and figuring out the funding structure. So, in light of this, could you tell us a little more about what an incubation center is and what role they play in the development and growth of a startup?
Yeah, so it's very simple. So why we go to school and college when books are available in the market? When like Google is giving all the information and all the stuff on a single click. Why we go to school and college? For structured education, stepwise understanding, close monitoring by the teachers and as mentor and coaches for becoming a successful student. So likewise, in incubation center, we make entrepreneurs and we teach them how to run a business out of a small idea, right? So likewise, we teach them how to run in a structured way so that they will become a successful startup. Like in schools and colleges, they are becoming successful student. In incubation center, it's our responsibility to make them a successful startup by providing hand-holding support in mentorship, idea validation. We are giving all kind of like people will come up with very innovative ideas and which is very close to their heart. But when we scrutinize on the parameters, that whether it is scalable, whether it is innovative, whether having a proper revenue model, then some ideas may fail because they are not on the path of becoming a successful startup. So our role is to validate the idea and save the time of the incubating, so that they will have a clear vision that what should not be done in this journey. So what should be done, they are very well aware of. But our role is to tell them what should not be done to save their valuable time. So today around 300 plus incubators are working in India, and they are acting as a bridge for idea to execute by creating that ecosystem. environment, and access to the resources. So in tier 2 cities like Bhopal, there's not many industrial infrastructure available. The ecosystem is missing. So where do the students go for job? Where do they go for starting up their own venture? So incubation centers can bridge the gap between, like, entrepreneurs can create job and helps government to achieve their employment goals. We incubators are working in collaboration according to our expertise, like be it government, we are running a government incubation center, or we are working in a hub and spoke model with a private incubator and co-working space also. So many colleges got influence and created in-house incubation center in their campus by seeing our model, by having VNest uh, in place. They have got an idea that why not to convert their entrepreneurship development cell in the college into a small incubation center in-house, so that all the handholding will be given to them in a very nascent stage at the college level only. So incubators are now like become important because we are the catalyst creating those kind of ventures which can succeed in future. Everybody knows that the statistics of that failure of startups out of 10. So 7 startups out of 10 will fail. But incubators can reduce that number of failure by handholding and mentoring, and to reduce the challenge of subsequently reducing the statistics of failure by like 2 out of 10 or 3 out of 10. So remember, only one successful startup can hire more than 100 employees. That is the difference which we can make as an incubator.
Right, sir. So, speaking of preventing failure by getting a structure through incubation centers, there is a common conception that startups which are incubated in incubation centers have a greater chance of getting more investment. Is that true?
Yeah, that is absolutely right. Why? Because see, if you are incubated in a incubation center, then you have that credibility, right? So important of ecosystem is like with the help of incubation center, you will get a structured learning program, right? You will get a structured way of achieving your targets. So it's like we are adding the value, adding the credibility to the startups because it has the selection process. It has to be verified by the screening committee, validated by the mentors, and then it is open for seed funding. Then venture capitalists will be attracted to get early stage funds. So it is a structured way of getting your idea validated and getting your prototype validated and going into the market, going for the investment before the investment and getting the investment in your favor. So definitely the credibility adds the value to the startup, and investors will be attracted to the startups. They compare to the open startup, which is not coming out of an ecosystem, and another startup which is coming out of a proper incubation center. So it adds the credibility to the we are having good examples. Like I would like to mention the kabadiwala.com. The Kabadiwala is a waste management aggregator platform where you can book your mm, uh, the Kabadiwala. What do you term it in English? I like the Kabadiwala is a generic word, which is which used to come to your colony, your house, and
Only
then
was, I think.
yeah, yeah, right. So and shout aloud that if somebody wants to spare with their waste, they are open. But what is the challenge in this model? Like you are not able to sell your waste whenever you want, right? Because you left for office in the morning around 8:30 or 9, then these guys will not come to your colony. And then when again you reach to your place in 8:30 and 9 o'clock in the evening, these guys are not able to reach to your place. They will come in the afternoon whenever to disturb everyone when your elder parents are sleeping, right? So the challenge was you have to know that who is coming, like Ola or Uber guy, because there is no KYC of these like waste collector. So this startup has given them an identity. This startup has given a single platform where all the citizens can book their waste collector on a single button, and that guy will come with proper KYC, proper dress, and proper weighing scale. The biggest challenge is they are having a local taraju in which they can mismanage the things. So by giving them a proper weighing scale, and in advance you can see that if you are going to sell your scrap plastic or scrap steel or scrap uh, anything else. So it is a predefined rate on the website and the application. So you are very well known in advance that how much waste, how much kg you are of waste you are giving to the vendor, and then what amount you are getting in. And the same amount you are getting by online mode through adding in your wallet or getting a Paytm, or getting a coupons out of that, or getting a coupon of Pizza Hut or Domino's or anything. So see what impact this guy has created. But this guy is already working before joining BNest Incubation Center, 1 year before joining us, and he has proven himself by launching this application. But when he came to BNS now, the whole scenario is changed, and because we have taken up on a target mode that you have to achieve this much of target, this much of clientele in this much of time. So what happened that we have given them him connects, and through our connect, venture capitalists found this idea very interested, and he has raised around 3 crore of growth fund. So see the difference. He was there in the system beforehand, but he was not able to find a investment. Although he is generating income through his regular business, but he is not able to get the investment or private equity. And the moment he joined Incubation Center, within 1 year, he raised 3 crores of investment from an angel investor. So this is the difference what an incubation center is creating.
So, sir, talking about impact, Dr. Anita has a question. Are there any unique characteristics or nature of startups in the realm of smart cities specifically?
Okay, I'm not getting the question. Can you please be louder?
Yes, sir. So Anita ma'am has asked a question that are there any unique characteristics of startups in the realm of smart cities?
So I've already told three unique things. To become a startup, we will select the startup on the basis of three unique things: innovation, technology, and job creation. So if these three things are there, elements are there, we believe that startup would succeed in future, and we will onboard them uh, on our incubation center. So we don't ask any PPT presentation when the people got selected in a screening round. Only the real numbers and the groundwork with a clear picture. Startup thinks whether my venture is fundable or not from investor's perspective instead of giving value to the customer. So we look at the sustainable model more, right? So if people is coming and saying that, I always says that two kind of funds are available in the market. One is investor fund, which on which startups are focusing more, and another is customers fund. So I always emphasize upon, if your product is giving value, if your product is innovative, and it is having proper demand in the market, always focus upon getting customers fund in your favor rather than seeking for investors.
Right, sir. So, talking about one last thing regarding incubation centers, there is a lot of confusion at times when people mix up the difference between an incubation center and an accelerator. So, could you please elaborate on the difference between them for our audience?
Sure. So it's like the role they are playing. The role of a school and accelerator is like, incubation center plays a role of a school, right? And accelerator plays a role of a college. So in school, we have an understanding of things, right? And learning, according to which, like, have a basic understanding of market that leads to some traction. Means I just want to correlate with the school learning and college learning. So you have been taught certain things and generating understanding in the schools, like incubation center, but accelerators are more focused. The difference is of approach. So incubation centers are having broader approach. They have to cater all the startups in their single ecosystem. We have to be sector agnostic. We are not specifically mentioned that we are like incubation center to support only agrotech or fintech, right? So in tier two cities, incubation centers are having broader approach. Vis-a-vis, like in case of accelerator, they are more focused and narrow approach. They are having strategic partners, corporate partners, and they are in the this is the second stage after you are incubated in an incubation center. So when you have gone through the journey of 9 to 10, 12 months of as an incubatee, now if you have achieved a milestone, then you are eligible to be a part of a cohort in an accelerator program. So what is a cohort? Like in acceleration model, the industrialists and corporates are and the investors are the mentors, and they are giving you industry based problems statements in the whether in the product or the services. And if you are participating in the cohort, and you are like 2 or 3 cohorts will be formed to achieve the target within timeline. So if you are able to achieve that target, there is a probability and it is sure that you will get funded, and your idea will be adopted by that industrialist as a cohort winner. And then you will succeed this accelerator program with the fetching the investment in your favor. So this is like more of a approach differentiation in acceleration and incubation.
Right, sir. So, sir, finally, for the benefit of the budding entrepreneurs in our audience today, given the current restrictions of movement and physical contact brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic, are there any options of virtual incubation available in today's times?
Yes. So, like we have recently started this in BNest. Once a startup comes to us, we do assessment of the requirement. So, if physical infrastructure is not required, then for utilizing the communication channel, information sessions, updates, any kind of updates, and access to the utilities on request, it's like we are open to them. It's not money making thing. We are charging very tiny amount for usage and benefits of the sessions, of the boardroom if it is required, or of the mentorship on virtual basis. So yes, we are open, and virtual incubation is very much important in current scenario, because if you are having a 10,000 square feet of area to be termed as an incubation center and having capacity to host around 150 members or 50 startup teams, so your consent is to handhold only 50 of them. But with the help of virtual incubation, you are open to provide handholding and mentorship to more than 50 people, like 500 people, 1,000 people. So our role is to give and support this ecosystem more and more. So virtual incubation center is giving us more opportunity to connect with rural based incubations, like Incubati, or a rural based startup based out of a rural area, tier 3, tier 4 cities. So it has given us more outreach to go into the bottom of the pyramid and find out the creative solutions.
So, sir, you are actually an instrumental part of BNest Incubation Center, as the one you've been talking about. So, could you tell us a little more about BNest and when it was established, and what is the fundamental idea behind the organization?
Yeah, sure. So we have started our incubation center on 8th of May 2018 under Bhopal Smart City Mission to promote entrepreneurial spirit among the youth, which will lead to the economical and social development of Madhya Pradesh, Central India. So we are the first incubation center in Central India by any smart city across nation. So problem statement was that there is a startup policy of Madhya Pradesh in 2016, but no such support system was available and developed to get the benefit out of the policy. And the idea behind is to create an ecosystem where startups can innovate, create, and succeed with the technological assistance and guidance from the industry experts. So in these 2 years, we have incubated around 115 incubates out of 5,000 applications, and we have like 3 phase program for these incubates. Like first phase is ideation, having ideation phase, which is like pre-incubation for 3 to 6 months. Startups, those startups who are having good idea, we help them to get to the minimum viable product level, to register their startup as a company or a LLP, mentoring them for developing a prototype ready for going into the market. Right. So this is the ideation phase startup handholding what we are giving them. Then comes the second stage is early traction. So which is called as an incubation phase. So it is it's like 9 to 12 month program. We help them to refine the prototype by getting the feedbacks from the first paying customer, or giving them opportunity to do a pilot project to help them test the product. So Smart City is like giving them an opportunity to do a pilot project with Smart Cities only. And if there is any feedback, so that they can refine their prototype to make a market ready product. So again, we will identify for them and first paying customer, so that they will get some traction, get some revenue generated, and then they will qualify for a growth phase. So the last stage is growth phase. It's an acceleration phase where we make them investment ready. How to pitch before investors, how to pitch for investment, work upon their metrics, and then make them understand what different investors look into their model. Like angel investors having different perspective, venture capitalists are having different perspectives, private equities are having different perspective, and debt and bank loan are altogether having different perspective. They are more focusing upon collateral funding, where VCs, private equities, and angel investors don't require any collateral. They are purely equity based funding. So these are the three levels where we encourage the entrepreneurs or wannabe entrepreneurs to start their ventures. In each of the three phases, we ensure to get them mentors who can handle them. Although in the final level, we go for coaches, because mentors are good when you want to have overall view of your business and ideas and market. Whereas coaches help to solve particular issues related to the venture, like marketing, finance, product designing, branding, promotion, etc. Right? So apply through our website. If you want to apply to BNest because you are based out of Bangalore, and if you want to apply virtual incubation, then our website you can apply through bnest.in. We organize hackathons and boot camps very regularly. Every like biannually we organize boot camps, and annual event we organize hackathon. And if you are not selected, then you can join as a trainee and employee of a startup also. So we are all available for you.
So I believe you have a short video to share with us about DNet.
Yeah, so it is available on YouTube, but I will show you. Yes, I'm sharing my screen. Can you please allow me to share my screen?
I request our technical in charge, Ronak, to help sir out with that.
Yeah, just confirming once you see the my window.
Yes, sir. We are able to see your screen. If you can put it on, yeah, now it's perfectly fine. Sir.
Is it audible to you?
No, sir, the audio is not there. So maybe for the benefit of the audience, you can share the link on the chat box, and we can share it to the audience over the YouTube comment section.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether you are able to listen, because yeah, to me it is visible as well as audible.
No problem, sir. I think there might be some kind of network lag because of which we're not able to listen.
Yeah.
So if you could just share the link, we'll ensure that it reaches the audience members so they may view all the videos.
Yeah, sure. I'm writing it as chat box.
Sure, sir. So, sir, with this, we'd like to thank you for your very eloquent talk. I'm sure that the students and the audience would have had an extremely and would have earned an extensive amount of knowledge from the session. With this, we now proceed to the Q&A session. As mentioned earlier, I request the audience to type out their questions in the comment section of the YouTube live stream. So, sir, to start off with, we have a question from Professor Jyoti, who asks, what, according to you, is the future of smart cities in our country?
So, future, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, to talk about the future, I would like to say that every smart city has been allotted a span of 5 years in which they have to come up with certain objectives which has been mentioned in the smart city proposal in 2015-16, right? And we have chosen a redevelopment model, and we are on the phase of ground clearance by doing certain pan city initiatives. Now, post COVID, every city is feeling like they are way behind achieving their targets. Now, again, we are thinking that we are on the ground, not ground zero, but yes, we have achieved certain milestone. And right now, Bhopal smart city is being termed as #1 cities. Now, going forward, the future is how we can become more self-sustainable, because now we will not be able to fetch a good amount of government funds as a grant. This is the first challenge. So in future, we have to become more self-sustainable. And how we'll become? By monetizing our land parcels and assets. So Bhopal has started monetizing its asset. We have sold almost 3-4 land parcels, biggest chunk in the heart of the city, and we have generated 200 crores of funds in last couple of months post COVID. So then what next is that because we are generating self-sustainable funds, so we have to sell our products or sell our land parcels to the like people sitting outside India, because we still need an anchor investor to come up and create a huge impact. So for that, we are contacting with the advisors from a different part of the world. And we have been advised to create a digital twin of Bhopal smart city of Bhopal, so that we can get traction from the globe to get some investment in central India or Bhopal as a city or any smart city. So I am advising to all other peer cities that you should create a peer digital twin of your city and have a model, holistic model, where you can have a control and command center, where you have an incubation center, and where you can think upon city surveillance part, because the basic amenities which can be provided with the help of startups and innovative ideas, it is a very costly affair if you go for a public tenders. So in India, mostly the big projects are for big fours and for big consultants or for big companies, and small initiatives, for small initiatives in government wants to have a bigger companies. That was a perfectly fine affair when we started our smart city mission. But now, as you are having a cash crunch, all the smart cities are having a less of liquidity. So they have to focus upon more innovative solutions, and they have to open gate for startups to provide more innovative solutions, and which is ready to adopt. That's why this city innovation exchange has come up. The tulip has come up, that we are getting the innovative ideas, and we are, without going for tenders, without asking for earnest money deposit, without asking for having net worth of certain percentage, or without asking for any contractual experience of 15 to 10 years, we are just giving the tenders on the basis of POCs, the proof of concept, to the innovative ideas, to the startups. So this is what future is. This is what the future relies upon. If we will open gate for the startups, pitch for the new innovative ideas to all the smart cities, and the smart cities reciprocate without going for public tender, and on the basis of POC, they will be awarded to the startups. The work will be awarded to the startups.
Right, sir. So also we have one more question from the students that says, the concept of smart cities seems more on a public scale. How can it be personalized so that everyone feels a part of it?
So I have already said, no. So we are seeking feedbacks in a city innovation exchange. Every city is having their own application. Like Bhopal is having Bhopal Plus. So Bangalore must be having its own application, where we can have a citizen engagement forums, where you can give solutions and give feedbacks for waste management, for environmental issues, for air quality index, for non-motorized transportation, for using the electric bikes, electric vehicles in your cities. Like prices of petrols are shooting high. So what are the solutions available? So any startups can come up like having an idea of swappable batteries, because if I am riding a petrol based or diesel based vehicle, so I when I run short of that fuel, I just go to the petrol station and in a couple of minutes I will get it filled. But if we are thinking to go or go for a electric vehicle model or electric bike model, so we can't wait too longer to charge our vehicle on a charging station, right? To 20 minutes or 1 hour, that is too much of time. So can then there is a possibility to have a swappable battery model where you can go and swap your battery with the vendor, and then you will get a new battery and you will give your old battery on a minimum charge basis and you will drive down to your place. So this is the solution. This is something which you can have as a feedback from the citizens end, that yes, this is the solution which is available, and we can create a distributors network of swappable batteries. We can create a ecosystem where you don't have to wait for charging your bike or electric vehicle. So there are certain platforms. I've already mentioned that there are 7 smart cities in Karnataka, and wherever you are living, you can go and check the websites. They are definitely having a single portal of citizen engagement program. So you can very well share your thoughts and ideas to the government and ministry.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. Due to time constraints, unfortunately, we will not be able to take up any more questions from the audience. But we appreciate and thank you all for your active participation in the session. Also, thank you so much, sir, for answering the queries of the audience.
Thank
With
you.
this, I now invite Dr. Anita Sushilan to give a closing address.
Thank you, Mr. Yogesh. I think it was very interactive. I think that's something very unique, and it engaged the students for quite some time. And especially, it's a very new concepts. I think some of them, at least, are very new to these concepts. I think you brought out or you actually kind of premised the whole idea in a very interesting manner. So, thank you so much for that. What I really would like to thank you about is like the School of Architecture, though very young, we are very much inspired by experiential learning.
So sorry to interject. I would like to mention that we are having 5 interns of urban planning in Bhopal
Oh,
Smart City,
yeah,
and they are
wonderful.
from School of Planning and like SPA.
SPA.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we are having 5 students on this domain. So you can also tell your students to apply to the nearest smart city. We are very much open under the urban learning program, internship program, and every
Wonderful.
city has to have that mandate to accommodate more and more interns, fresh graduates, not having completed 1.5 year from the date of graduation. So they are very much welcome.
But I think this is, if I'm allowed, may I ask you a question
Sure.
with Aparna's kind permission?
Of course, ma'am.
Something which was quite, triggering, or maybe a thought which was coming across this. How would you, decide whether if there is a cultural context to a place, and if it's that only innovation and technology that matters, or are there, like if it is challenging a cultural context that the city is based on, would you take a call on that, and are there been any experience in your firm uh, of
Yeah. So
being
in
innovative?
Bhopal
Yes.
is known for its heritage sites and lakes and very old structures and monuments and all. But nobody has thought of creating a heritage walk or heritage ride across these particular places, right? But when smart city has come up, we have aligned all the activities across these. Like we have created a like we have connected all the dots where we can align with all the heritage and heritage monuments and such kind of old structure where we can restore the structure by more and more citizen engagement. We have also engaged high-tech companies like 3M to create beautiful signages to this across the city, so that it went upon a theme that Bhopal is known for its water bodies, lake city. So
Yes.
the blue theme will be, you will find across the city, so that it will give an identity to the citizens and city itself, because the city belongs to Raja Bhoj, who is like finest architect and designer in thousand year back.
Okay.
So he has created a artificial man-made dam, which is recognized as the world's longest or highest, deepest and longest man-made dam as well as lake in Bhopal. So we are uh, pro- giving this information by creating a virtual walkthrough to the city, what this city is famous for, what is the history of the city, and how this city is transformed into a smart city. So this is all the technology which is helping us.
I think it's opening up a great possibilities because for both at the undergrad and the master's level, we have an internship term. So I think it's a really wonderful time when they can actually get engaged with
Sure,
more.
sure. I will definitely would like to connect all your students on the urban learning program. And any questions you are getting, not right now, later on also. So you can redirect to me in perspective of smart cities. I would love to and would like to help you out, and would like to connect to the local smart cities available in Karnataka, where the students are situated or based out of.
Thank you so much. I think it has been a very inspiring and interesting in the sense it has opened about, provoked a lot of thoughts within the students, and like especially more a citizen-centric approach.
Yes.
And that's something very interesting and unique about these ventures that you've been discussing about. And very nice to hear from you. And also, we would like to get engaged with the smart city projects. So thank you so much, Mr. Yogesh, and
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am, for your kind words. When you feel like giving up, remember why you started. As Tony Heish, the CEO of Zappos, once said, chase the vision, not the money. The money will end up following you. For all the budding entrepreneurs in the audience today, I hope our session today has helped motivate you to chase your dreams in the days to come. With this, I now propose the vote of thanks to mark the beginning of a new journey of entrepreneurship and smart city development that we have had the privilege of being a part of. I would like to express my profound gratitude to everyone who has contributed to make this event a successful one. On behalf of the University Student Council and the management of Christ deemed to be University, I take this opportunity to thank our keynote speaker, Mr. Yogesh Kakre, for taking time out of his busy schedule and interacting with us today. I would like to thank the Controller of Examinations and Director of Student Council, Professor Johnny Joseph Sir, who has always inspired and encouraged us. I also express our heartfelt thanks to all the faculty coordinators of the Student Council who have been an indisposable part of our guidance and motivation. I would also like to express our gratitude towards Professor Jyoti Gupta from the School of Architecture for her invaluable encouragement and support. I also take this opportunity to acknowledge and appreciate the efforts from my fellow University Student Council members who are part of the events, technical, and logistic committees, for without them, the smooth proceedings of this session would never have been possible. Last but not the least, I thank all Christites and the external participants for joining us today and being a wonderful and participative audience.